So what do you do when you find out you're pregnant and then with twins? In her memoir, Double Time, Jane Roper shares insights on how she survived and thrived those first few years. Jane also writes the popular Baby Squared on Babbel. That's a blog there, and you join me. Welcome to Connecticut Style.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So I'm assuming it was probably difficult, to say the least, right? The first few years?
Yeah, a little bit challenging. I would definitely say that.
How old are your girls now?
They're 5 years old now.
Yep. And what are their names? In fact, we have some pictures we could put up.
Yeah. Elsa and Cleo are their names.
Okay.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about them.
Sure.
Oh, they look fun. Looks like you guys are having a grand time.
Yeah, they are fun. They're a lively couple of kids. I would say spirited. One of them's quite outgoing and fearless. The other one tends to be, she takes her time getting to know things, and then she'll rush in after that.
Got it. So let's go back 5 years. What went through your head when you realized you were pregnant with twins?
Oh, no.
That was the first thing you said?
Yes. That was the first thing I thought, but then after that, it took a little while for me to get used to the whole idea and really kind of, okay, I can do this.
There's no turning back. We're doing it, right?
No, there's not. So I got, it took a little while to adjust, but then I got excited about it.
And your husband had the same reaction?
Yeah, he was actually more excited than I was, because he was an only child, and he really, all growing up, he wished he had a sibling. Oh. So he was happy that we got our two in one fell swoop.
Great. So what motivated you to write the book?
Well, when I was pregnant, I really couldn't find any book that gave me somebody's actual experience having twins. I found books about nursing, I found books about trying to get them both to sleep at the same time, but I really wished I had had a memoir to read. So I thought, well, I'll write it.
There you go.
Yeah.
When did you start writing?
I started writing when the girls were a little over 3 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the biggest fears when you were pregnant. I mean, I guess just preparing for two babies.
Yeah.
This was your first?
Yes, my first two. Yeah, it was, my biggest fear was, is this going to completely take over my life? Because although, I was really excited about being a mom, I also wanted to continue to work and to follow my passions, which was writing, and maybe have time for a slight social life. So that was one of the big fears.
And what types of things would people ask mothers of twins? Sometimes not always appropriate.
No. The first question is always, do they run in your family? Which could be seen as an innocent question, but I think a lot of times it's probing to see if you had fertility treatments. Oh. Which I did, and I'm perfectly comfortable talking about that if I choose to. But
it's a little invasive otherwise.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it is a little invasive. So.
All right, and you say that mothers of twins are more likely to experience postpartum depression. What was your experience with like that? Well,
I had a history of mild depression, and during the first year of my girls' lives, I actually felt fine. I was okay. But when they were about 13 months old, shortly after I weaned them, I fell into a pretty deep depression, and I had several depressive episodes over the course of the year. And as you can imagine, parenting two toddlers while you're depressed is rough.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about a day in the life. I mean, it's double everything. I mean, you talk about taking the kids to the playground.
Oh yes. It's a lot easier now. But when they were littler, it was, being pulled in two directions at once.
Sure.
I'd be watching one, and then I'd look over, and the other one was
be running off, right?
Yeah, or about to fall off the top of a jungle gym, and I got a lot of exercise.
Great. And what's been the reaction with the book? I'm sure mothers-to-be have read it, and
yeah, some mothers-to-be have read it, and they've really enjoyed it. And I think they can. People who are already mothers have told me they could relate to a lot of it, even if they don't have twins.
Very
so
good.
That's gratifying to hear.
And where can we find your book?
You can find it in any bookstore or close to any bookstore, and then of course on the usual online sites, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc.
Now, Jay, we want to mention an upcoming event you have in Fairfield at the end of June.
Yes, I'm originally from Fairfield, so I'll be
going home.
Yeah, I'll be reading at my hometown library, Fairfield Public Library, on June 20th.
Very good. All right, the name of the book again is Double Time. You see it up on your screen. It's available, well, just about anywhere.
Pub date is tomorrow. Yep.
Very nice. Jane, thanks for being here. This is great.
Right. Thank you.
All right, coming up next, a heavenly recipe for angel food cake when Connecticut Style returns. Don't go anywhere.